I know. I'm sorry. I was under the impression we were told 9:30, but and then I got an email from Mr. Alawi.
All right, I'm trying to get him back in. All right, we have everyone here. I'm sorry to bring you out of the breakout room like that, Miss Louie, but I want to get moving on this. This is 242637 SM, the state of Michigan versus Ala Al-Shibalawi.
Good morning, Your Honor. Noor Ali on behalf of the people.
Okay, and Mr. Kuja?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Jamil Kuja appearing on behalf of Mr. Al-Shibalawi.
Okay, and we have two interpreters. I don't think we need to for a plea. So do one of you have someplace you have to get immediately?
I have at 10:45, so I still have some time.
Okay, Ms. Jadot, if you want, you can be all set then, and we'll just move through with one.
Thank you.
But obviously, all right, thank you.
Have a great day for Outberg.
Bye, Emil. Good to see you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Kishmas, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to accurately and completely translate from English to Arabic and Arabic to English?
I do.
Okay. So today's the time and date set for a jury trial, and it's my understanding a plea has been extended.
اليوم هو اليوم المحدد علشان يعملوا جلسة المحلفين، لكن حسب ما فهمت إنه توصلتوا إلى اتفاق.
No. That's correct,
Yes.
Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Louie, can you tell me the terms of the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. The terms of the plea. Oh, I apologize.
ممكن تعطينا نقاط الاتفاق كيف اتفقتوا؟
The terms of the plea will be for defendant to plead guilty to the charge of domestic violence under 7694A with a term of probation for 1 year plus anger management and no contact with the complainant Hafsa Zadullah.
بنود الاتفاق انه المدعى عليه راح يقر انه عمل العنف المنزلي بناء على رقم او نقطة رقم 76948 مع سنة من الحكم التجريبي البروبيشن ويروح دروس السيطرة على الغضب وايضا عدم التعرض للموكلة.
Is that accurate, defense counsel?
It is accurate, Judge.
هل هذا صحيح؟ نعم هو صحيح.
And you understand that the defendant will be referred to probation and there may be additional terms of probation.
وانت فاهم كمان انه موكلك او المدعى عليه رح يتم احالته الى قسم الخدمة التجريبية البروبيشن وهناك حيكون في نقاط زيادة كمان احتمال.
Do you understand that?
لا
فاهم؟
لا ما فاهم شو يعني.
Do you understand? No, I did not understand. What do you mean?
Give me 1 second just to explain this to him, Judge.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
He understands,
So,
Judge. I just explained to him that the court sets the terms of the probation. While there's an agreement that there wouldn't be any jail time and it would be probation, the terms of that probation, what conditions get set, be determined by the court.
أنا قلت شرح لك إنه مش حيكون في فترة حبس، حيكون في فترة تجريبية اللي هي بيسموها البروبيشن، وهونيك رح تتقرر الأمور هونيك.
نعم.
Yes.
هاي المدعى نعم.
okay, so I'll accept the plea. The things that you must do pursuant to the plea agreement is anger management, no contact. But the probation department might think that other terms are suitable, and if you plead, I want you to understand that. So I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
طيب أنت رح تقبل بهذا الحكم، رح يكون في دروس السيطرة على الغضب، وهي هيكون كمان اتفاق بعدم تعرض، لكن كمان حتروح على قسم البروبيشن وهن رح يقرروا الأحكام أو البنود اللي رح تشتغل عليها من خلالها. بس كنت بدي أوضح لك الفكرة علشان تعرف.
نعم.
Yes.
Okay. All right, sir, did you go over your constitutional rights with your attorney?
هل محاميك قرأ لك حقوقك الدستورية؟
أنا اللي بدي أوافق.
That's what we went over before, that you have a right to a trial. We were going to have the trial today. Remember?
نعم نعم.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go over some of them for you, sir. Domestic violence is a misdemeanor offense. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500.
العنف المنزلي هو يعني جريمة يعاقب عليها القانون بحبس لغاية 93 يوم في الحبس وغرامة تصل إلى $500.
نعم.
Yes.
And federal law and or state law may prohibit you from possessing or purchasing ammunition or a firearm.
والقوانين الفيدرالية وكمان قوانين الولاية تمنعك من أنك تشتري أي مادة تكون سلاح أو سلاح ناري.
لا
Including a
ما
rifle.
عندي ما عندي.
I don't have any.
Okay, I have to tell you these things.
لكن لازم نقرأ لك هذه النقاط فقط.
نعم.
All right, that includes a rifle, a pistol, or a revolver.
وهذا بكل أنواع الأسلحة، الرشاشة، المسدس، كل الأسلحة ممنوع تشتريها أو تكون بحوزتك.
نعم.
If you are convicted of a misdemeanor crime of violence,
وإذا تم إدانتك بجنحة بخصوص العنف
and you are a current or former spouse,
وأنت كنت زوج حالي أو زوج سابق،
parent or guardian of the victim,
والد أو وصي على ضحية،
you share a child in common with the victim,
أو عندك ولد مشترك بينك وبين الضحية،
you are or were cohabitating with the victim,
أو أنت عملت أعمال عنف ضد الضحية
as a spouse, parent, or guardian,
كزوج، كوالد، كوصي،
or you were involved with the victim in another similar relationship.
أو إذا كان عندك أي علاقة مشابهة مع الضحية.
You have the right to a trial, and at the trial, you would have the following rights.
لديك الحق إذا أن تذهب إلى محاكمة عامة، وخلال هذه المحاكمة عندك الحقوق التالية:
To call witnesses to speak for you at trial,
أن تستدعي شهود ويتكلموا بالنيابة عنك في القضية،
and you could get an order signed by the court to require witnesses to come to court.
وأيضا ممكن تأخذ طلب موقع من المحكمة حتى تجبر الشهود أو تأتي بالشهود ليشهدوا معك في المحكمة.
To see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial.
أن تسمع الأسئلة المقدمة من الشهود ضدك في المحاكمة.
To be a witness for yourself.
لك الحق أيضا أن تكون أنت شاهد، تعطي الشهادة عن نفسك.
Or to remain silent.
أو لك الحق أيضا أن تبقى صامتا.
And if you choose not to be a witness on your own behalf,
وإذا اخترت أنك ما تشهد بالنيابة عن نفسك في قضيتك،
the prosecutor could not comment on your refusal to testify.
محامي الادعاء ليس له أن يعلق على رفضك أن تعطي شهادة.
And you also have a right to be presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
وأيضا لك الحق أنك تقول أنك غير مذنب حتى يثبتوا أنك مذنب بما لا يقبل الشك.
And when you enter a plea, you'll be waiving all of those trial rights.
ولما تعمل الاتفاقية أنت تتخلى عن كل هذه الحقوق اللي قرأناها.
Understood?
هل هذا واضح؟
لا ما جاي أفهم على شنو هو.
No, I do not understand. Why are you mentioning all this?
Because under the United States Constitution and the Michigan court rules, I am required to tell you all of this before I take a plea of guilty.
لأنه حسب القوانين الفيدرالية والدستور الأمريكي وأيضا قوانين الولاية أنا ملزمة أن أقرأ لك هذه الحقوق وهذه الكل بصورة عامة أقرأها لك قبل ما أقبل عرضك أنك تقول أنك مذنب.
Okay, Mr. Al-Shiblawi, these are your rights that would take place if we had a trial. Since you're accepting the deal, there is no trial. So those are the rights that you're giving up. You're not going to have those rights because there's no trial.
اوكي نعم فهمت الحين.
Alright.
اوكي.
She has to tell you that.
اوكي. يس.
أوكي بيقول لك إنه هذه هي حقوقك وحقوق كل إنسان يدخل في محاكمة. لأنك تخليت عن المحاكمة وقبلت أنك تقول مذنب، أنت تتخلى أو تتنازل عن هذه الحقوق. لازم القاضية تقرأ لك كل هذه النقاط.
نعم.
Yes.
Oh. If you are, and I don't know if you are, this is another thing I have to tell you. If you are currently on probation or parole and you enter a plea of guilty, it could be a violation of your probation or parole.
أنا مش عارفة بس لازم أقرأ لك هذا كمان وهذا للكل بصورة عامة. إذا كنت تحت أي فترة تجريبية أو تحكم يعني محكوم عليك ببروبيشن الآن أو فترة تجريبية هذا قد يخرق الحكم الحالي يعني يتناقض معه.
Do you understand?
هل هذا واضح؟
نعم. نعم.
Yes.
And if you are not a citizen of the United States and you enter a plea of guilty, it could have immigration consequences up to deportation.
وإذا لم تكن مواطنا تحمل الجنسية الأمريكية ودخلت وقلت أنا مذنب في هذه القضية هذا قد يؤثر على موضوع هجرتك والإقامة تبعك وقد ربما يؤدي إلى الإبعاد والإخراج من البلاد.
عندي جنسية. أنا جنسية أمريكية.
I have a US citizen.
Okay, I have to tell you, sir.
تمام لازم نقرأ لك كل هذه الأشياء.
Knowing all of that, how do you plead to the charge of domestic violence? Guilty or not guilty?
بعد ما سمعت كل هذه النقاط كيف تقول أنك بخصوص هذه القضية في العنف المنزلي هل أنت مذنب أم غير مذنب؟
نعم مذنب.
Yes, guilty.
Has anyone forced you to get you to plea?
هل في أحد جبرك أنك تقول مذنب؟
أنا مذنب.
I am guilty.
No, but you got to answer the question. Is anybody forcing you to do this?
لا ماكو أحد جبرني.
Okay.
So, had anybody في أحد جبرك? He says no,
لا.
no one
لا
had
لا
forced me.
ما حد جبرني. ما حد جبرني.
No, no one
Has
forced me.
anyone promised you anything other than the plea agreement to get you to plea?
هل في أحد وعدك بأي شيء آخر غير الاتفاقية اللي موجودة حتى تقول أنك مذنب؟
لا.
No.
Are you pleading guilty of your own free will?
هل أنت تقول مذنب بناء على يعني طواعية وحر نفسك؟
نعم لأن أحبها وزوجتي أو أنا.
Just answer the
Yes.
question.
لازم أحكي يا أخي ما يصير يعني بس yes or no يعني لازم القاضية تعرف يا أستاذ.
Go ahead.
Yes,
So-
because
أنا اعترفت لأن أنا ماني.
Hey, wait, stop. Go ahead, Madam Interpreter.
I apologize for interrupting, but it's easier to go shorter sentences. Yes, because I love her and she is my wife. And then I have to say things. I have to say and judge has to know.
But I need him to for me to take a plea of guilty, I have to make sure that he knows what he's doing, he understands what he's doing, and that he's not being forced to do it. And that's why I'm asking him these very simple questions.
Okay, Your Honor, the interpreter would interpret all this, but if you can go the first person on the next sentence. as you not he يا وش بتقول لك أنا أحتاج أعرف منك أنك تعرف وتسمع وتفهم هذا الكلام وأنك غير مجبر عليه وأنك طواعية بتقول أنك مذنب. هذا كل اللي أحتاجه.
ما حد جبرني.
I was not forced. No one had forced me.
Thank you.
شكرا.
So he's entered a plea of guilty. Sir, were you in the city of Taylor on October 25th of 2024?
هل كنت في مدينة تايلور في شهر 10 يوم 25 2024؟
نعم.
Yes.
And did you have a spouse at that time?
وكنت متزوج في هذاك الوقت؟
نعم.
Yes.
And what is her first and last name?
شو اسمها الكامل؟
حفصة محمد زروعات.
Okay. And did something happen on that date that makes you guilty of domestic violence?
هل حصل أي شيء في هذاك النهار خلاك تكون مذنب بعنف منزلي؟
نعم.
Yes.
What did you do that would make you guilty of domestic violence?
شو سويت حتى تكون مذنب بعنف منزلي؟
يعني صار خلاف بيني وبينها بسيط وردت أدفعها بس يعني ضربتها راجدي يعني مو راجدي يعني دفشتها.
Wait, go ahead, Madam Interpreter.
Yeah, there was a simple conflict between me and her. I wanted to push her, then I slammed her. I mean, I did not slam her. I just pushed her.
And she did not want you to do that. Is that correct?
وهي ما كانت تريد انك تتبعها، صحيح؟
نعم نعم نعم.
Yes, yes.
Counsel, are you satisfied with the factual basis?
حضرة المحامي، هل أنت مقتنع بهذه الأسئلة؟
Judge, I'm satisfied there's been a factual basis to domestic violence.
نعم
Miss
مقتنع
Louie? I'm sorry.
The people are satisfied.
مقتنع وأيضا الدعاء مقتنع بالأسئلة.
Okay, I'll accept the plea as knowing and voluntarily given.
أقبل بهذا الإقرار المقدم طواعية.
And we will set a date for a pre-sentence investigation to occur with the probation department.
وراح نحدد أيام علشان يحققوا، كمان نحدد مواعيد مع قسم البروبيشن الحكم التجريبي.
And he'll receive notice, and counsel, you'll receive notice of that in the mail.
Okay.
وراح يوصلكم الإخطارات بالبريد.
And I'm writing that we need an interpreter for that to occur.
وراح أكتب أيضا أنه نحتاج مترجم لهذا الأمر.
And then after that, we will set the sentencing date.
وبعدين راح نعمل موعد للقرار أو الحكم.
And the bond conditions will continue at this time.
كل الشروط ما زالت قائمة لغاية اليوم.
And the defendant is had to have no contact with the complaining witness or the victim in this case.
والمدعى عليه ممنوع أنه يتواصل مع الضحية أو مع الشهود في هذه القضية.
وإذا هي بدها ترجع له تتواصل، إذا هي بدها ترجع، إذا فكرت يعني مستقبلا بدها ترجع لي يعني ونكون مع بعض وما أعرف.
Sir.
Question.
You have to talk slower and not so much so the interpreter can translate. Because when you go on, she can't tell me what you're saying. Small sentences.
أولاً تقول لك جمل قصيرة جداً علشان المترجمة ما تضيع الفكرة. So, Your Honor, the sentence was, what if she wants to come back to me? What if she communicates to me and she wants to come back and live with me in the future?
She is to contact the prosecutor, and the prosecutor can file something with the court.
هي لازم تتواصل مع محامية الادعاء. محامية الادعاء تقدم أوراق للمحكمة
requesting a bond modification to no assaultive contact.
وتطلب فيها إنه يعدلوا هذا الوضع اللي قلنا عليه بعدم الاتصال أو عدم التواصل.
But at this time, my condition remains no contact.
لكن لغاية هذا يصير أو حاليا شروطي تبقى نفسها، عدم التواصل.
نعم.
Yes.
All right, we're all set. We'll get you notice of the pre-sentence date and the sentencing date in the mail.
تمام،
Thank you so much,
انتهينا.
Your Honor.
بيجيك مواعيد المحاكمات في البريد.
And the complaining witness, of course, will receive notice.
أيضا المشتكية أيضا حيوصلهم أوراق في البريد.
And has a right to make a statement if she wants.
وعندها الحق أنه تحكي عن قضيتها أمام المحكمة في الجلسة القادمة إذا أرادت.
At the time of sentencing.
وقت إصدار الحكم.
All right, and we're all set for today. Thank you.
I have one request he just brought to my attention, Judge. I think since the beginning you've allowed him to travel for his work. He tells me that his employer, he's a truck driver, and his employer has asked him to do a couple jobs that require traveling to Canada and back. Would the court allow him to make those travels for work purposes?
To where? I'm sorry.
Canada.
سانيا وينزر.
Where?
وينزر وسانيا.
Sanya?
سانيا. Yeah.
Okay.
Sarnia.
سانيا
Okay.
and وينزر.
I'm just writing defendant can travel for work. He is a truck driver.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, we're all set.
Judge,
كتنقل
Presiding.
And good morning.
Good morning.
good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Case.
Yes.
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Weiss appearing on behalf of Group 5.
Don't have Miss Turbington sign it.
Bernadette Turbington, not present. Do you wish to take a default, Mr. Weiss?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Turbington is a resident at 3139 Randolph Court Drive, Ann Arbor, Michigan. The rent owing, including court costs, currently is $1,438. I don't believe there was personal service.
There was none.
Like a judgment in that amount, writ to issue in 10 days.
Yes. What was the total amount, sir?
$1,438, Your Honor.
$1,438, including cost.
Yes.
Judgment to the plaintiff. That's by default for possession. Redemption amount in the amount requested with the writ to issue in 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
Thank
nice
you, sir.
weekend.
You do the same. Eric, is it Lofstrom versus Derek Gideon?
Good morning, Your Honor. Parissa Gazari appearing for plaintiff.
Mr. Gideon?
Yes, sir.
All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case? This is termination.
That's correct, Your Honor. This is a termination of tenancy case. There is no lease.
All right, there is no lease. All right. Sir, what's your position on this case?
I was just notified of the court documents on May 2nd. But I hadn't heard from the owner of the property in over a year, and I got the summons taped to the door on May 2nd. But prior to that, I hadn't had any contact or any correspondence in a year with him, and so it kind of came out of the blue. And I don't have any problem getting out of the house. It's just a matter of timing. That's all I'm here to try to get.
And I sent a 1-month notice to quit on February 26th with an April 1st move-out date that I mailed Mr. Gideon
All
to.
right.
I never received it. That's all I didn't say you didn't send it. I'm just saying I never received it. I got the summons I actually have 2 summons from the court, but I never received that document.
Okay, so, sir, you're actually entitled to a 1-week adjournment. Did you want to? I'll adjourn this out 1 week. Maybe you can call on your paperwork is the attorney's office. You can call either Ms. Gazari or someone there and try to work something out regarding a move out.
Okay, that works for me.
All right. So I will adjourn this 23rd.
23rd at 2 p.m.
I'll adjourn this matter to May 23rd, 2025, 2 p.m.
Yes, sir.
2 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, sir.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
yep.
Court calls case Peninsula Place versus Jawan Carlton.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Good morning.
Do you have a camera, sir?
Yes.
All right, you turn that on. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $3,070.34, which includes the court costs.
All right. And sir, how are you
Yeah.
intending on getting that paid?
I get financial aid in a couple weeks, so I was just gonna pay the whole thing off, but they forced the court anyways. I told them to just wait. No one listened. I tried to work
All
for
right,
them.
so you're waiting on a financial aid check?
Yes.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna adjourn it out 1 week, May 23rd, 2025, 2 p.m. Where are you in school?
At Washtenaw Community.
All right, why don't you double check with them as to when that's gonna come in? Usually, well, they sometimes, I think you probably know this, get delayed. So what you may want to do is also contact the attorney's office, see if you can work out a conditional order dismissal when that comes in, okay, sir?
All
right.
All right, so I will set it May 23rd, 2025, 2 p.m.
Okay. Is
That's
that
an
in-person?
in-person hearing, sir.
I'm not gonna be here. Is there any way I can change that? I got a new job that requires me to go to Kentucky.
Well, you might be
Louisville.
able to appear via Zoom, but you'll have to submit the form.
Okay. How do I contact the lawyer's office and submit the form?
The lawyer's office, the Fink office, their number is on your paperwork.
Okay.
And you can contact the clerk's office here at the court to get the form regarding the Zoom appearance.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Peninsula Place versus, is it Kalea Jackson or Rahila Jackson? Sorry.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
She here?
Yes, she is. Or was. She didn't think she was signing out because she was driving, but then she did sign down.
Kalea Jackson? You don't see her present. She was here and then she said she was signing out?
Yes, because she was driving to work.
Oh, okay, and then she was gonna sign back in. Oh. We're almost at the end of Fink here, though.
Yeah, she's got 2 more.
2 more. I'll pass it to see if she pops back in. Court does call the case of Peninsula Place versus Jacqueline Gardner.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Hi.
Hello, Ms. Gardner. All right. I'll need a camera. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $2,515.81, which includes court costs.
The camera's not working.
All right. Okay, Ms. Gardner,
Sorry.
how are you intending on getting that paid?
I have 400 now, and then I plan to pay 600 plus 3 on the 24th next month or next week. And then I did apply for SCR as well. I'm waiting to hear back from my worker.
For SER, you need to take the form that you got in your packet, the rental assistance form. Or what you can do is download it with the QR code on the screen. And you'll need to file that with the court by Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
And you're gonna pay the 400 when?
I could pay it today.
All right. So you pay the 400 today. The other amounts that you have, you said the 24th?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll note the file that you're gonna pay that on the 24th, but you'll have a hearing before that time. And then I'll adjourn this out to May 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m.
Okay. Is it Zoom?
No, that is in person, ma'am.
Okay. If I'm on maternity leave, so if I end up going in labor, what should I do? Because I'm due
Okay,
next week.
all right.
sorry.
If you end up going in labor, go have the baby. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you're gonna have difficulty getting here, there is, we usually don't grant the request, but if you'd let us know what the request is and get the Zoom form into us, we'll take care of that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Provident Asset Management versus Sandra Moore.
Carissa
Yeah.
Gazari for plaintiff.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Oh, where is she? I'm not picking her up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I got you now. All right.
Okay.
Okay, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $2,515.55, which includes court costs.
All right. And ma'am, how are you intending on getting this paid?
Well, I did contact My Bridges and also, I can't think of the other place that I contacted, but I'm waiting for them to get back to me, see how much they can help me with.
Was it Hawk that you contacted?
Hawk,
or-
yes, Hawk.
Okay, did they give you an appointment?
I have the paperwork and I sent it in, so I'm waiting for Hawk to get back to me. My Bridges said that they called and said they made an appointment to talk to me. So I'm waiting to hear from them and find out when
Okay.
my appointment is.
So, all right. You'll have to file a rental assistance form with the court. It came in
Okay.
your packet, and put the information regarding assistance that you're trying to get, okay?
Okay,
And you have to file that by Wednesday. I'll adjourn this matter out to May 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m. That's an
Okay.
in-person hearing, ma'am.
okay,
Okay?
all right,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Then this,
Thank you.
there, Mr. Freeman, did Ms. Jackson did not sign back in. Ms. Gazari, I know you've got one other case. Did you want me to just recall that and put it over? She
Yes,
signed in. She said she was going to work and was gonna sign back in, but I don't see her yet. Or we can wait a little bit on her, whichever you'd prefer.
I'm fine with putting it over. I have one other hearing though up too that I thought I had for Tri-County Investments versus DeBrito.
Well, they must have put the wrong attorney in JIS because I have that listed as somebody else.
Oh, okay, so, all right, let me do it this way then. Yeah, I think they did list the wrong attorney on this, so this is actually Frank. All right, so I will call Tri-County Investments versus Anthony DeBrito.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
DeBrito, not signed in. Would you like to take a default?
I would, Your Honor.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, this is a case that was filed following a demand for possession due to damage to property health hazard. The apartment has piles of trash that are spilling out into the hallway and common area. It's causing a serious and continuing health hazard. Plaintiff is requesting entry of a default judgment for possession with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession, no redemption amount, writ to issue in 10 days.
Thank you.
And then let me recall this. I don't think she signed back in. Peninsula Place versus Rahalia Jackson. She has not signed back in, but she was here, so I will adjourn this to May 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m.
Thank you. Have a
Right.
wonderful day.
You do the same. Court calls the case of Barnes and Barnes versus Quintavious, is it Scandrett? And Christopher Mayo.
It's just me. Quintavious Scandrett has moved out of his apartment. I'm a football player at Eastern, so when guys on the team transfer and stuff, they just leave and they don't sign over the lease agreement, or they don't take their names off the lease. So it's just me right now.
All right, and you're Mr. Mayo?
Yes, I am.
All right,
Ellis
and go ahead,
Friedman.
Mr. Friedman.
The total, including costs, is $22.40.
$22.40. All right, Mr. Mayo, how are you intending on getting that paid?
On Monday, I had put a pay stub in for $1,200 to bring the balance down to $19.48. I think she told me. And then on the 30th, I get paid from the team and also from my job, which I should get around $1,500 to $1,700. So I'd use that also. And then on the the 10th of May, I will also be getting my second check from my job, and that should be able to get the balance down also.
All right. So you're saying that you gave them how much already on Monday?
Yes, the 12th.
All right.
I have that, Your Honor. That's part of that's in the
That's
equation.
already included?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that brought it down to the $22.40.
Including
right.
costs, yes.
Yes. All right. And so your next check isn't until the 30th?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you to do. You're going to need to contact the attorney's office, see if you can work out a conditional order dismissal regarding the payment of this balance. And I'll give you a week to do that. The information is on your paperwork. So I'll adjourn this to May 23rd, 2025 at 2 p.m. That is an in-person hearing, sir.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Barnes and Barnes versus Marcus Hargrove.
Ellis Friedman for the plaintiff.
How you doing?
Marcus Hargrove?
Yes.
Oh, you got him. Okay, there he is. Okay. All right. What's a plaintiff's claim in this case?
$22.90 total.
$22.90. All right. And Mr. Hargrove, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I was waiting on. I did show Jessica that I had my sub. It was a check that was a 21 the day that they owed me for my taxes. I forgot the name that they called that check. But I'm supposed to be receiving. I haven't received it yet. I think it was over 21 days. Almost $1,500, and I said I was going to give that towards them on that as well. I have almost $500, and I'm gonna give them next week and just try to tattle it down as quick as I can.
So you're waiting on a check, and you got $500 that you can give them next week. What day next week?
It'll be sometime like Thursday, Friday.
All right. So I'm going to put in the file that you're going to pay $500 by the 22nd. I'll adjourn this matter out to May 23rd, 2025. What time? 2 p.m.
Is there any way that I can request for a Zoom?
You can request it. This is an in-person hearing. I'm not sure that your Zoom request will be granted. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Court calls the case of Eastern Oaks versus Antoine Silvers.
Ellis Friedman for the plaintiff.
Antoine Silvers, not checked in. If you'd like to take a default, raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead, sir.
It's a termination case, Your Honor. He just moved in to an apartment that the previous tenants who are my next case have left. He's not an authorized tenant. He's not on any lease or application or anything else. He just showed up and moved in, and it's tearing the place to pieces.
All right, so he has no lease. All right, judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession. No redemption amount. Writ to issue in 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Eastern Oaks versus Jeremy Willingham. and Willie William and Kajan Kearney.
Ellis Freeman for the plaintiff.
Willingham, William, Kearney. No one is here. You may proceed, sir.
Your Honor, the total $6,032.98.
6,000. I'm sorry, you broke off there.
I'm sorry, 6032.98.
98. Judgment to the plaintiff. That's by default for possession. Redemption amount is the amount requested with a writ issue 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That does that. All right. Northfield Estates versus Carl Reinman.
Good morning, Your Honor. Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law, on behalf of the plaintiff.
I thought I was supposed to go in.
Okay.
He is. He's at our access point. Okay. Got it. Mr. Reinman?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Now, Your Honor, this is an action for termination of tenancy under the Just Cause statute based on violations of the lease agreement, Your Honor, including defendant's failure to maintain the home and site in a manner consistent with the lease agreement and rules and regulations of the community. A just cause termination notice was issued on March 19th, requiring defendant to vacate on or before April 21st. And to my knowledge, he's still in possession of the property.
All right. And sir, what's your position on this case?
I guess I've been month to month lease, or with no lease, and then I guess month before last, she refused to take rent, and I said, "Gee, it's working on getting things, my screen door broke, and that's my first project. My porch is a project, and skirting gets arranged by the weather regularly, and I guess I'm in process to jump through her hoops some more, and all of a sudden, the rent not being taken was a surprise.
Because they're trying to terminate your tenancy, sir.
I guess that's just a surprise.
Okay. Do you want to be represented by an attorney?
Do I want to? That'd be, nice. Yeah.
All right. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to contact legal services. All right. Let me give you their phone number. It's 665-6181.
665-6181.
Yes, sir. All right. And I'm going to adjourn this out 1 week, May 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. So I suggest you contact legal services right away.
Okay. 1 week.
All right.
1 week.
Yep.
So.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Northfield Crossing versus Holly Bosner. Or Bonser. I'm sorry.
She's not here.
Bonser, she's not here. You'd like to take a default? Did you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. For the record, Your Honor, Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law, on behalf of the plaintiff. Your Honor, there is rent to retain of $1,651.39, costs of $190 for a total due of $1,841.39. And we'd request entry of a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after the statutory 10-day period.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default. For possession, redemption amount is in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Northfield Crossing versus Nicholas Buckland.
Yes, sir.
And Brittany Moore.
Brittany is not here, sir.
All right. All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
With cost, Your Honor, $2,132.67.
Sir, there
right.
was actually a $1,100 payment made yesterday. I don't know if they have that
Okay.
registered or not.
I don't have that, Your Honor, but it's,
All right.
we'll be able to verify that before the next court date.
Yes. So you paid 1,100, so that would bring you down to a little over 1,000. So when are you gonna get that paid, sir?
That would be paid next Friday in full, sir.
All right. What time next Friday?
First thing in the morning, I get paid about 6 o'clock in the morning, so about as soon as the office opens.
All right. So why don't we do this? You paid 1,100, then you're gonna pay the balance by the 23rd early. So I'll adjourn this matter out to May 23rd, 2025, 1 p.m. All right. Try to get that in and paid. And if everything's paid, it's likely they'll dismiss the case. All right. But it's got to make sure that everything's paid. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Northville Crossing versus Clarence Carmichael and Barbara Carmichael. Clarence or Barbara Carmichael? No response. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $1,690.47. Costs are $246 for a total due of $1,936.47. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested. Writ to issue in 10 days. Northville Crossing versus Ardell Carson.
Hello.
Hello, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Ardella Gillis. I'm Ardell Carson's daughter.
Okay. Is Miss Carson available or?
No, he is at home watching the grandchildren. I am out in Ann Arbor. I am actually sitting at the courthouse. I thought I had to appear in person.
Okay. All right. Well, he really needs to be here, but do you reside at this address?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. All right. What is plaintiff's claim?
With costs, Your Honor, $2,321.75.
All right. Ma'am, how is that intending on getting paid?
My father had lost his income last month, which was a shocker to us because we have been on-time payers for years. He's getting his income back through Social Security retirement, and I also receive disability as well. So we'll have a total of close to $4,000, but none of our income won't come until the 30th.
It won't come till when?
The 30th.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjourn this out 1 week to the 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. I'm going to suggest that you contact the attorney's office, see if a conditional order of dismissal can be worked out prior to that hearing.
Okay, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Northville Crossing versus Faithlin. Is it Lefker?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. There you are. Okay. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
With costs, Your Honor, it is $2,054.20.
All right. Ms. Lefker, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I am paying $750 of that today, and I'm also working with a local church to get the rest paid.
All right. So you're going to pay $750 today?
Yes.
All right.
I actually spoke with the property manager, and she agreed to let me pay in installments as of right now. So I had asked if I could pay it off by the 30th completely.
By the 30th, try to get everything paid?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, here's what I'll do. Get the $750 in. I'm going to adjourn this out 1 week. You may want to contact either the manager or the attorney's office and see if you can work out a conditional order of dismissal to try to get it paid by the 30th, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, so that'd be the 23rd at 1 PM. That's an in-person hearing.
Okay,
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
thank you.
Court calls the case of River Ridge versus Douglas Codger. Coger, not present. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $1,491. Court costs are $175 for a total due of $1,666. And we'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Leonard Arnold Jr. and Lindsay Arnold. Leonard or Lindsay Arnold, not present. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $1,756.84. Costs of $242 for a total due of $1,998.84. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Karshina Bigham. Bigham, not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is rent to retain of $4,527.29. Cost of $186 for a total due of $4,713.29. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Tina Carico. Tina Carico, not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $1,738.50. Costs are $186 for a total due of $1,924.50. And we'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Alethea Green. Alethea Green, no response. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $2,541.43. Cost of $186 for a total due of $2,727.43. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Jada Griggs. Said not.
Correct.
Because I don't see. All right. Jada Griggs, no response. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $6,302.67. Costs of $186 for a total due of $6,488.67. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Felicia Hugan, Reginald Hugan. Yeah. No, somebody's here. Are they frozen?
No, their video's off.
Oh, they are. Reginald, Felicia Hugan. Oh, I think. Nothing. Okay, let me pass it. See if they will answer shortly. Court calls case of Arbor Woods versus Patricia Jenkins and Shayna Jackson. Jackson, Jenkins, neither are here. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is rent to retain of $5,616.85. Costs are $242 for a total due of $5,858.85. And we'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Torrance Johnson.
Your Honor, I believe we have that case marked for dismissal. Let me verify on my end, though. We do.
You do? All right, he is here. Mr. Johnson?
Yes, sir. I'm present.
All right. They're indicating that they're going to dismiss your case. You have a problem with that?
No, I do not have a problem with that. I'm currently up to date on my rent.
Pardon?
I say I'm currently up to date on my rent.
Yeah, that's what they're indicating, that you paid everything and they're going to dismiss this case, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Take care.
All
Case is dismissed without prejudice. Arbor Woods versus Jarrett Lee Smeltkop.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And Sarah Lee.
We're here.
Smeltkop.
We're here. And that
Okay,
one's
there you
also
are.
a dismissal, Your Honor.
All right, folks, they're indicating they're going to dismiss your case. You have a problem with that?
No.
No, but are we gonna get
All
something
right.
saying that it was dismissed?
Fantastic. Pardon?
Are we gonna get something in the mail stating that it was dismissed?
They usually will send in an order, and it's usually sent out. I can't.
Okay.
All right, thank
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. You guys have a good weekend.
You
too.
too.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Arbor Woods versus Brittany LaFloria. Dutch was. Brittany LaFloria?
I'm here.
Okay. I need a camera, and what is plaintiff's claim?
With cost, Your Honor, $3,797.50.
All right, Ms. LaFloria, how are you intending on getting that paid?
For some reason my camera isn't working, but I paid $19.50 yesterday. So that's already been posted into my account. I did just go to the office because it was a discrepancy when I first signed up. And I did speak with the attorney too about this, that I was told by the leasing agent that I would get a free month. But then the manager went back to try to say that she's not going to honor that. But when I just looked over my lease, it's showing that I was supposed to get a free month. So from what I was told by the young lady that's at the office right now, is that she would speak with the manager to see if they would honor that. So I'm waiting to hear back on that. But they did receive a payment of $19.50, which is over 1 month's rent. So.
And I'm assuming, Ms. Dornbush, you don't show that $19.50 in this
I
amount.
don't yet, Your Honor, but I'll be able to verify that before next Friday.
All right, very good. Ma'am, what I'm going to do is I'll adjourn your case out May 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. is it? Yes. At 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. If you're going to be represented, then let them know that that's your court date. All right. And hopefully we'll have an answer on that rent and everything, and then the credit to your account and see where we are. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Arbor Woods versus Dominique Lucas.
They've been bumping in and out now, so she stays.
Hello. Oh, can't hear you. Oh, she froze.
She froze.
All right, looks like she froze. So, oh, now she's back. Oh, now she's not. Ms. Lucas, can you hear me?
Yeah, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, we're able to hear you. Fantastic.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. What what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
With court costs, Your Honor, $3,393.16.
All right. So Lucas, how are you intending on getting that paid?
Well, I just paid, what was that, $31.50? I think it applied to my balance last week. So on the ledger online, it was showing me that I owe $15.96, but it was also showing that I owed what she just stated, which I was confused about. I know I can pay $500 today, and I'll have at least $1,500 by next Friday. Because I didn't know which balance to pay. I don't know if it's the $15.96 or it's the $3,400.
Your Honor, in looking at the ledger, I see a payment on May 7th for $2,800, not for $3,150. So I would just suggest Miss Lucas.
It was $2,800, and then there was a $350 payment as well. I just added it all together.
The $350 payment I see, Miss Lucas, is from April 15th. So unless you paid an additional $350.
Oh, they put it in. Oh, okay. I thought they because when I took it to the office, she told me they couldn't apply it towards the rent because the whole balance had to be paid at the same time. So when I looked, I just thought it was all applied on the same day. But I'm able to pay $500 today, and I know I'm able to pay at least $1,500 next week.
The $1,500.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you pay that?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What day can you get that $1,500 paid?
I can have it paid. I'll just say Friday morning, because sometimes my check doesn't come until Friday morning.
All right. So I'll indicate by the 23rd in the morning. Try to get that in as early as you can to them.
Okay.
I'll adjourn this out to May 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. That is an in-person hearing, okay?
Okay.
And then we can see exactly where we are on this and how we'll get it all taken care of. All right?
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Court notes call the case of Arbor Woods versus Tiffany Mitchell.
Hello.
They're both here. Okay. Tiffany, I'm sorry, and Siobhan Mitchell.
Yes.
And Your Honor,
All
we
right.
do have this marked as a dismissal on our end.
All right. You folks have any problem with that? She got a big old smile on her face, so I don't think so. All right. They both do. All right. Okay. This case is dismissed. You guys have a great weekend.
You as well.
Arbor Woods versus Geraldo Morales. Morales, not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is rent to retain of $4,598.64, cost of $186, for a total due of $4,784.64. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Kiera Morris. Kiera Morris, not here. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We do have this as a dismissal.
Ah, okay. I am assuming there's no objection. Case is dismissed. Arbor Woods versus Mohammed Diagando. Oh. And Omar, same last name.
Also a dismissal, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Case is dismissed. Court calls case of Arbor Woods versus Latasha Patterson. Latasha Patterson, not here. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $700.77, costs of $186, for a total due of $886.77. And we'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Danielle Shepard. Danielle Shepard, they are not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is rent to retain of $3,078.52, costs of $186, for a total due of $3,264.52. And we'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession. Redemption amount any amount requested, writ issue 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Brian Schipple. And Deborah Schipple. Brian or Deborah Schipple, no response, you may proceed.
Thank you. There is rent to retain of $1,753. Costs are $242 for a total due of $1,995, and we'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount any amount requested, writ to issue 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Creather Bond.
And Your Honor, I believe we have this as a dismissal on our end, but I believe Ms. Vaughn is here.
Yes, she is. Ms. Vaughn, can you unmute? Did you freeze on?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, there
but
you
I
are.
need to explain something, please, while I have your audience. Yes, I would like your audience, just for a second, Your Honor. I do live in Arbor Woods, and I'll be living there 4 years come this September. I'm 70, well, I'll be 71. In August, I asked them when I started renting the home that I was not able to pay on the 1st. I'm only able to pay the 3rd Wednesday of each month from my Social Security and my pension. And that's why I'm late. And it's always going to be like this every month. I've never had a problem with it before, except maybe a couple of times, but that was it. And I don't know what to do or who to speak with. I haven't been getting any notices, and then I just got a notice about a week ago, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. Here we go again. They already know. I don't. With
All right, you're breaking up on me, Ms. Vaughn. I think I get it. You don't get your
it's
check
just
until
that,
the
you
3rd
know,
week.
yes, sir. And
Okay.
I pay religiously. I never had a problem with that. I won't income, but I can only pay for the 3rd Wednesday of each month. And I'm at my wit's end.
Okay. I don't know, Ms. Dormush, if there's anything that can be done. That's when her income comes in. Ideally, they'd probably like you to get a month ahead and be able to pay it at the beginning of the month out of the previous check, but I know that's just hard. Sometimes life doesn't go that way, right?
Well, I mean, if that's the way it is, that's the way it is. I just wanted to explain my case, but is there any way with the lady that's here that says it's dismissed? Is there any way that they can accommodate me in that way where I can pay once, on the 3rd Wednesday of each month?
Your Honor, Ms.
I
Vaughn's
always
gonna
say-
have to talk to management about that. I don't have any ability.
Yeah, she doesn't have the authority to do that, so you
Oh.
have to talk with the manager.
Who would that
okay?
be? What's the name? What's the name of the person that's the manager?
Your
I mean,
Honor, the manager that's overseeing the property at present, her name is Dana.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Ms.
Yes, sir.
Vaughn. All right, well, if you show up every month, I'll be happy to see you. All right.
I got you.
Okay.
Thank you. Have
You
a
have a
blessed day.
blessed. You do the same.
All right.
Court calls the case of Arbor Woods versus David Waters. David Waters, not checked in. You may proceed.
We have that as a dismissal on our end, Your Honor.
All right. Case is dismissed. Court calls the case of Arbor Woods versus Sherelle Watkins. They are not checked in. You may proceed.
Also a dismissal, Your Honor.
Okay. Like the pattern here. All right. Court calls the case of Arbor Woods versus Raquel Webster. Not checked in. Raquel Webster, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. There's rent to retain of $2,894.84. costs of $186 for a total due of $3,080.84. We'd ask for a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession. Redemption amount in the amount requested with the writ issue in 10 days. Arbor Woods versus Alicia White and Michaela White.
Hello.
Michaela's here. Okay, there she is. All right. What, how much is owing on this? What is plaintiff's claim?
With costs, Your Honor, $3,612.56.
All right. And ma'am, how are you guys intending on getting that paid?
We're going to try to pay something next week. If not, we're just going to leave the property.
Okay. How much were you intending on getting paid next week?
Well, we're trying to see, because they're not taking anything unless it's the full balance. So she's been very hard on us trying to make partial payments because I get paid one week, my mom get paid another week. So she won't take anything unless it's the full payment. So we don't know.
How much do you have now that you can pay?
I don't have anything now. I don't get paid until next week.
Okay. Here's what I'll do so that you guys can make a decision. I'll adjourn this out 1 week, 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. If you're intending on moving out, you might want to contact the landlord or contact counsel and try to arrange something along those lines. Okay, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. And
hello, Judge. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Is that Mr. Hugan?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Man.
Arbor Woods versus Felicia Hugan. I knew who it was.
Man, I apologize.
Versus Felicia and Reginald Hugan. How are you, sir? All right. What is the claim in this case?
The total with costs, Your Honor, is $2,823.91.
All right, Mr. Hugan, how are we going to get this paid?
I'm going to within the next by 2 o'clock I should have $1,300 in, and then the rest will be paid on the 30th.
All right. So you're going to have $1,300 by sometime today.
About 2 or 3 o'clock before the office closed. Yes.
All right. So I'm going to put $1,300 today.
Okay.
I'll adjourn this out to the 23rd, May 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. an in-person hearing. You can contact the attorney and see if you can work something out in terms of a conditional order dismissal before the next court date. Okay. If you're not going to have another check till the 30th.
Yes, I won't. Yeah, I won't have another check till the 30th.
All right. Okay. See if you can work that out. All right.
I appreciate you. You guys be blessed.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
And I think that's it for you, Ms. Dornbush.
It's indeed, Your Honor, but there is a resident, Ms. Brownlee from Arbor Woods. I think the court had marked that as a dismissal. I just wanted to let Ms. Brownlee know as well that she sign out.
I do see her there. Ms. Brownlee? Are you prompting? Can you? Gwen Brownlee? Okay, I think we sent a message to. Why don't we send a message that their case has been dismissed and see if she picks that up? All right. I think that does it.
It does indeed, Your Honor. I'll see you at noon.
Yes, ma'am. Take care. Court stands in recess.
Cost of $159.15 for a total of $3,059.15. This is an action for possession only. No money judgment is being sought.
There was not a second mailing on this. Ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. How are you intending on getting this paid?
Well, my balance, that he just spoke on, my balance is only 1,900. I paid on my balance, I only owe 1,900. I'm able to pay the remaining 1,900 on the 28th of this month.
Well, you're entitled to an adjournment, but you're saying that the balance, when did you make a payment?
I made a payment on Wednesday, and I made a payment also, the following Wednesday after that as well.
Well, hold on. You're saying you made a payment on this past Wednesday?
Yes, this Wednesday I made a $1,000 payment. Last Wednesday I made a $950 payment as well.
All right, hold on. Counsel, do you have a ledger? Do you see those payments or?
I do, Your Honor. I see the 950 payment that was made on April 30th. I do not have on my ledger this, the $1,000 payment she references that may have been made a day or two ago.
Got it. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do, ma'am. I'm going to adjourn this matter out to May 23rd, 1 week out from today, 2025 at 12 noon. That's an in-person hearing. What I would suggest you do is you contact the law firm to see if you can work out a conditional order dismissal, since you're indicating you can pay the entire balance shortly after the court date. The 28th is what you're indicating, that Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll see you in a week.
All right, thank you so much.
Your Honor, will you require the plaintiff and plaintiff's attorney to appear in person as well?
Yes, sir. Those are set in person.
Very good. Thank you very
But
kindly.
they can request a Zoom, but yeah, I set them in person.
Very good, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Minion Properties versus KB Care PLLC. And really? Okay. And Chid Alamelech, I can't, I'm not even gonna give it a shot because I'm gonna mess that entirely up. There are more letters there than. Yeah.
Good morning, Judge.
And Wagray Magana. Go ahead, counsel.
Yeah, good morning, Judge. Scott Munzel appearing on behalf of Minion Properties LLC. Bill Minion is also on the Zoom. Yeah, the person that we deal with is named Karthik. I mean, I think it's a doctor, but I don't see any of the defendants online, but they could be. But
I don't. You don't have any. Yeah, we don't have any of those individuals
right
present. There was no second mailing on this case, so I'd have to adjourn this out in any event. But
the court performed the mailing, and then we also had a personal service on them. But
right, you had the personal service, but there wasn't a second mailing. Okay. But I don't. It says personal services to all defendants, but that's not what.
Well, the other good news, Judge, is that we have had some communications with them. We've kind of discussed a broad outline that would resolve the case. I've sent them an email about entering into a consent judgment. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm fairly comfortable that we're going to be able to reach an agreement that would allow the case to be dismissed, with a consent judgment.
Okay. So here's what I'll do. I'll adjourn this out 1 week.
Judge, I'm going to be.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be out of town on the 23rd. So if it's an in-person requirement, then I guess I would ask you to do it on the 30th.
All right. Why don't I do the 30th, 2025 at
1 PM.
1 PM
Okay.
in person?
Thank you,
right.
Judge. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Okay, you too.
S&C Holdings versus Ashley Nicely.
Ready, Your Honor.
Hi, I'm Ashley Nicely.
All right. Well, Mr. Thomas.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. And what's the plaintiff's claim in this case?
It's a rent case, Your Honor. Tracy Thomas appearing on behalf of the plaintiff. As of right now, there is $2,452.56 due and owing. That includes court costs.
All right. And ma'am, how are you intending on getting this paid?
So what happened was I ended up switching jobs. I'm a therapist, so I was building up my caseload, and I am now in the tier at my work in which I will be getting a full paycheck. So I was hoping to present the possibility of paying anywhere between $800 and $1,000 biweekly until it's paid in full.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to suggest you do, if that's a possibility, when's the next time you can make a payment?
So the next payment would be on the 23rd, and then the 6th, then the 20th, and that should catch me up plus pay my rent. Or yes, I believe.
All right. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to adjourn this out 1 week. I
Okay.
suggest that you contact Mr. Thomas, see if you guys can work out a conditional order dismissal
Okay.
and resolve this matter. Okay.
Okay, absolutely, will do.
So I will adjourn this to May 23rd, 2025 at
12 PM.
at 12 PM. That is an in-person hearing.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Did you say
Thank
12
you.
p.m., Your Honor?
12 p.m.
Yes, 12 noon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bushwood Properties versus Olivia Vitale.
Good morning, Your Honor.
And-
David Santera on behalf of the plaintiff.
And Alexander Camp.
Your Honor, I sent a dismissal in to Miss Weidling, probably 9:45. We found out this morning that the property was vacant.
All right. All right. We probably didn't get a chance to pick that up. That's fine. Case is dismissed.
That's my only one at 10. I'll see you this afternoon.
Yes, sir. Hamptons of Clover Lane versus Charles Frierson III. And Joseph Brooks.
Good morning,
Here you are,
Judge. Jen Wilburn, P83143 for the plaintiff.
All right. Is that Mr. Frierson?
Yes, you're correct.
I get it. Okay, gotcha. All right. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Right now, Judge, rent $4,185.77, costs $214 for a grand total $4,399.77.
All right. Sir, how are you guys intending on getting that paid?
So later on today, we're planning on submitting at least 2,500.
So $2,500 today?
Yes.
All right. What I'll do is I'll indicate in the file that you're going to pay that. I'll adjourn this out to May 23rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. That's in person. And then we'll see how we're going to work out the rest.
Is that a Friday, sir?
Pardon?
Is that a Friday, the 23rd?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Sutton Ridge 1. Got this all spelled wrong. Sutton Ridge 1 versus Taldala Brown.
Good morning again, Judge. Jen Wilburn, P83143 for plaintiff.
Taldala Brown. She's here. Where? Out there. Okay, I got a camera. Okay. Ms. Brown, can you unmute? You had your camera, but where'd she go? There she is. Okay. No, I got her. She moved on the screen. Okay, Ms. Brown. Disappeared again. It's the one with the microphone. And she gets the video part, but. This is, yeah, I know. That's why I'm holding on because I don't think council has another case to call. I don't want to pass it oh, she almost got it. You almost got it, Ms. Brown. Listen, her. Okay. All right, Miss Brown, do this. Wave your hand if you can hear me. Okay. So we'll try it this way. What is plaintiff's claim in the case?
Your Honor, right now, there's an outstanding rental balance, $4,621.18, plus the court costs of $175, for a total of $4,796.18.
All right. Okay, Miss Brown. Are you going to be able to get that paid at some point? You can just nod. Okay. Have you sought any type of assistance to get that paid? You haven't? You're going to have the money? Okay. She told me to hold on. I don't know. She froze. All right. She's hitting it and it. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, she's gone. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, she dropped. Council, I'm just going to not hold you up. I'm just going to adjourn this out to the 23rd.
Very good, Judge.
2000.
Same time, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, yes.
Very good,
In
Judge.
person, and we'll let her know. Okay,
Thanks
thank
so
you.
much. Have a good weekend.
You do the same.
Thank you.
Six Trails versus Peyton LaFoon.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sidney Katz, on behalf of plaintiff.
Don't have that checked in.
LaFoon. They are not present. You have the second mailing. If you raise your right hand to be sworn, you may proceed. Do you solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead, sir.
Your Honor, this is a non-payment of rent possession case. As indicated, there's second mailing by the court. To the best of my knowledge, the defendant is not in the military, a minor or unable to stand trial. To the best of my knowledge, the property is being kept habitably. Currently, there's a balance due of $1,067 of past due rent, $175 of cost, for a total of $1,242. Requesting a default judgment in that amount, with the writ to be issued after May the 27th.
Yes, judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default or possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, with the writ issued 10 days.
Thank you,
Six
Your
Trails versus Sean Ames.
Good morning again, Your Honor. Sidney Katz, on behalf of plaintiff.
Sean Ames, not present. You may proceed.
Your Honor, this is a non-payment of rent possession case. As indicated, there's second mailing by the court, or I don't know if it was mentioned, but there is second mailing by the court. To the best of my knowledge, the defendant is not in the military, a minor, unable to stand trial. To the best of my knowledge, the property is being kept habitably. Currently, there's a balance due of $1,253 of past due rent, $175 of cost, for a total of $1,428. Requesting a default judgment in that amount, with the writ to be issued after May the 27th.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount is in the amount requested, with the writ issued 10 days. I think that's it for you, sir, correct?
Your Honor, I had two that were on the docket, but I dismissed them. I hoping they were taken off.
Yeah, I think they came off the dock.
That's correct.
for
Okay.
this morning.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good day, Your Honor.
Thank you. You do the same. HP Foreclosure Solution versus Bianca Johnson.
Morning, Your Honor. Adam Devlin, P 72877 for the plaintiff.
Bianca Johnson. No response. This is a termination case. You have paid for second mailing. You raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear a firm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead. What is your claim?
Your Honor, this is a termination for failure to permit inspection after foreclosure by advertisement pursuant to MCL 600, 3237, and 3238. We have heard nothing from the occupants, defendants, or mortgagors. We are looking for default judgment possession only, writ dated the 27th of May.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession.
I will email it, Your Honor. Have a good day.
All right. Writ to issue in 10 days. Augusta Woods versus Tina Brooks.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P 87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Tina Brooks. No response. If you'd like to take a default, please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear a firm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. What is the claim?
Claim is a non-payment of rent, judgment possession only, Your Honor. Rent to retain is $1,770.28. We have costs in the total of $179 for a total of $1,949.28. We'd ask that if that amount goes unpaid, a writ issue on or after May 27th, 2025. To the best of my knowledge, Ms. Brooks is above the age of 18, is competent, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession redemption amount is in the amount requested with the writ issue in 10 days. Augusta Woods versus Paul Reedy and Nella Reedy. No, Mr. Rest saw him.
Your Honor, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, now we can't. You muted yourself, Mr. Reedy.
Oh, crap. I don't know what I did, but it's like on driving mode. I'm sitting in my truck, but I'm not driving. Can you hear me? But not, can you hear me? But not.
We can hear you. And from previous cases, I recognize your voice. So I know it's you. All right.
Good morning, Paul Reedy.
All right. What is the claim in this case, counsel?
Thank you, Your Honor. It's a non-payment possession only. Rent to retain is $560.69. Costs in the total of $218 for a total of $778.69, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Reedy, how do you intend on getting that paid, sir?
I'll hopefully have it paid by next Friday. I get paid on the 3rd.
On the 3rd?
That's when I get my disability checks, but I hopefully have it paid by next Friday if I got to go back to court or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'll do, I'm just going to indicate that you'll pay the balance by the 23rd. Try to pay it before the hearing time, but I'll set the hearing. I'll give you an adjournment to the 23rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, but if you get it paid before then, it's likely that they'll dismiss.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it very much, Your Honor. Have a great weekend.
You do the same, sir.
Thank you.
Court calls case Augusta Woods versus Eric Roden and Richard Robbins.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P 87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Good morning. This is Teresa Robbins, Richard Robbins' wife. He works
Yes, ma'am.
afternoons, so if possible to have the meeting without him.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You reside at the premises, I presume?
Correct.
All right. Very good. All right, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judgment, or not a judgment, I'm sorry. Possession only, non-payment. Rent to retain is $1,944.89. Cost in the total of $218 for a total of $2,419.28. $162.89.
And Ms. Robbins, how are you guys intending on getting that paid?
So I did pay 250 this morning. I plan on paying another another 900 next week. I don't know if we get paid on Wednesdays, and then I can have the remaining balance of 1,000 paid the following Wednesday, if possible.
Okay, so just hold on a second. You paid 250. You can pay 900 by what date?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, the 21st.
Yeah, let me look. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No, it's okay. I got a calendar here. So gonna pay that by the 21st, and then you don't get another check till the following Wednesday, right?
Correct.
Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll do that. I'll adjourn this over to May 23rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. That'll be for an in-person hearing. You can contact plaintiff's office and see if you can enter into a conditional order dismissal to try to resolve it, since it looks like you're going to be able to get it paid before the end of the month. Okay?
Okay. Yes, I do have a question. With his afternoon schedule, he leaves for work at 4 o'clock. Is there any way to have like the noon slot? I know, or like one of the.
No, I have to set it by complex.
Okay.
It's hard for us to arrange. If you can be here, then that'd be good enough anyway.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, thank you guys so much.
See, you're married to him, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I'd rather have you here because you're probably the brain trust anyway. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Take care, ma'am. Have a great weekend.
You as well. Thank you.
Augusta Woods versus Tanya Resnick.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
It's Resnick.
Good morning. I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Okay. All right. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
It is a non-payment possession only. We're showing a rent to retain of $1,471.89, costs in the total of $179 for a total of $1,650.89.
All right. Ms. Resnick, how are you intending on getting that paid?
This morning we made a payment of $400. My husband gets paid bi-weekly, and we were going to pay the remaining $1,072 on the 30th.
Okay, so here's what we'll do. You're gonna pay, you paid 400.
Correct.
Okay. So then what I'll do is I'll adjourn this out 1 week, 23rd, 2025, 3 p.m. 3 p.m. That's in person. What I'm going to suggest you do is contact plaintiff's office, the attorney's office, see if you can enter into a conditional order dismissal that'll get you time to get it all caught up before the end of the month. Okay.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You as well.
Augusta Woods versus Patrice Tishma and Phyllis Terwilliger.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Tishma, Terwilliger. Neither are here. You've previously been sworn. You may proceed, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a non-payment of rent possession only. We'd request a default judgment. The total due of rent is $803.48, costs in the total of $218 for a total of $1,021.48. We ask that if that amount goes unpaid, a writ issue on May 27th, 2025. No money judgments entered at this time. To the best of my knowledge, defendants are above the age of 18, are competent individuals, are not members of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested. Writ issue 10 days. BO Properties versus David Call.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Mr. Call. They're here. Well, here it comes. Okay. Can you unmute, Mr. Call? There you go. All right. Okay, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Non-payment of rent, Your Honor, possession only. We're showing a rent to retain of $3,113.25, costing the total of $175 for a total of $3,288.25.
All right, Mr. Gall, how are you intending on getting that paid, sir?
Oh, my share of the rent is actually $404. The other group, I don't know their name, but my case manager who's on this call somewheres, the money will be paid within the month. I know that. The check's in the mail according to the people, because I deal with CMA.
All right, Mr. Call, is it Miss Dumas that's your case manager?
Yes. She knows.
Yes. Okay, Miss Dumas, what can you help us out here? Oh, you're muted.
I requested $2,391.25 from Washtenaw County to be paid to help get him caught up. And that I have been notified by the people who make those payments that has been sent electronically. Beal, I don't think they have received it as of this morning, but it is electronically on its way. Also, he has housing voucher and community management CMA. Their portion is also on its way electronically. So and then he is going to pay $404 at the end of the month. So by then, everything should be caught up.
Wonderful. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'll adjourn it out 1 week, the 23rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. Hopefully those electronic payments will be in, and then the only thing that'll be left is what will be his portion, which is going to catch up by that point. But I'll set it for the 23rd at that time, and let's see exactly where we are at that point. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Dumas. Thank you, Mr. Call. Take care.
Yeah.
Beal Properties versus George Machat.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P 87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Machat. Okay, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
This is a non-payment possession only, Your Honor. We're showing a rent to retain of $474.55, costing the total of $175 for a total of $649.55.
Mr. Machat, how are you going to get that paid, sir?
Your Honor, first of all, this original paperwork was for an amount of $1,096 for this court case. I totally wiped that out. I paid the whole $1,096. So
okay. Hold on a second. Hold on. And how much is your monthly rent?
It's $550.
All right.
So what I'm saying is, okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I never received any paperwork about this. This is something new. Let me go back. This paperwork for this court.
Have you paid your May rent?
No, I pay half of it.
Okay. That's what this basically is amounting to.
Yeah, but the paperwork I got, Your Honor, was for another
I know.
amount.
And if you
And I
look at
wiped
the
that out.
date, that's April. They're now in court in May. You owe May rent. They're entitled to go after May rent.
Yeah, I'm still in May. I get paid every 2 weeks. I've talked to the guy. I told him I was going to pay on the 26th when my check comes in. I'm surprised that they sent it to court. I've been here 3 years, so I don't know why they doing this. I don't know. I'm going to pay it on the 26th.
That's when you next get paid?
Yes.
All right. So here's what I'm gonna do, council. I would normally kick it out to the 23rd. If he doesn't get paid to the 26th, I'll just do this so that because the 26th is a holiday anyway. So I'm gonna kick this out 2 weeks. And maybe over plaintiff's objection, but that's what I'm gonna do. May 30th, 2025 at 1 p.m. You gotta make sure to get that paid, sir. That way it will end and then it won't carry over into the next month. All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Court calls the case BO Properties versus Latasha Williams.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Hello,
Latasha Williams?
I'm here.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. How much is owing on her case?
Thank you, Your Honor. Rent to retain of $1,465, cost in the total of $175 for a total of $1,640.
All right. And ma'am, how are you intending on getting that paid?
So I did pay $630 this morning of that,
Okay.
and I'm going to continue to pay on it until I'm caught up.
Pardon?
I'm gonna continue to pay on the rent until I'm caught up. I get paid every 2 weeks, so hopefully by the time probably May 30th, I will be caught up, and then I can pay.
Okay,
June.
here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna adjourn this case out 1 week, 23rd, 2025 at 3 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. I'm gonna suggest that you contact the attorney's office, see if you can work out a conditional order dismissal to get this paid up, okay?
Okay. I'm sorry, can you say the time again?
It's 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock? All right,
Yes, ma'am.
next Friday? Okay,
Or
All right,
next
thank you.
Friday, 3 o'clock, that's in person.
okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
BO Properties versus Jacqueline Poole.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
She is not present. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This would be a judgment possession only default request. Rent to retain is $786.97, cost in the total of $175 for a total of $961.97. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th, 2025. No money judgments entered at this time. To the best of my knowledge, Ms. Poole is above the age of 18, is a competent individual, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ issue 10 days. BO Properties versus Justina Youngblood.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Not checked in. Justina Youngblood, no response. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This would be a default judgment possession only. Rent to retain is $1,574.94. Cost in the total of $175 for a total of $1,749.94. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th, 2025. No money judgment is entered at this time. To the best of my knowledge, Ms. Youngblood is above the age of 18, is a competent individual, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ issue 10 days.
Thank you.
Woodview Commons versus Maria Ballard.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Maria Ballard, not checked in. You do have second service. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'd ask for a default judgment possession only. Rent to retain is $2,214.94. Costs are in the total of $175 for a total of $2,389.94. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th, 2025. No money judgment is entered. To the best of my knowledge, Ms. Ballard is above the age of 18, is a competent individual, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested, writ issue in 10 days. Woodview Commons versus Joseph Dykstra and Morgan Dykstra. Dykstras, they are not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'd ask for a default judgment, possession only. Rent to retain is $2,625.63, cost in the total of $214 for a total of $2,839.63. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th, 2025. No money judgment is entered. To the best of my knowledge, the defendants are above the age of 18, are competent individuals, are not members of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ to issue 10 days. Arbor Meadows versus Elizabeth Cornelius and Michael Cornelius.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P 87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Cornelius, no response. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is default judgment, possession only. Rent to retain is $2,737.48. Cost in the total of $214 for a total of $2,951.48. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th. No money judgment is entered. To the best of my knowledge, defendants are above the age of 18, are competent individuals, are not members of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Court calls the case of Arbor Meadows versus Pedro Quijada.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P 87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Quijada, they have not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Default judgment, possession only. Rent to retain is $1,036.10. Cost in the total of $175 for a total of $1,211.10. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th, 2025. No money judgment is entered. To the best of my knowledge, the defendant is above the age of 18. Is a competent individual, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Meadows versus Diana Lynch Miller.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P 87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Lynch Miller, not here. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Default judgment, possession only. Rent to retain is $1,937.84. Cost in the total of $175 for a total of $2,112.84. We'd ask for a writ date of May 27th, 2025. No money judgment is entered at this time. To the best of my knowledge, the defendant is above the age of 18, is a competent individual, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Arbor Meadows versus Don Ho.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P 87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Don Ho, not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Default judgment, possession only. Rent to retain is $942.80. Cost in the total of $175 for a total of $1,117.80. We'd ask for a writ day of May 27th, 2025. No money judgment is entered. To the best of my knowledge, the defendant is above the age of 18, is a competent individual, is not a member of the military, and the premises were kept in a habitable condition for the duration of the tenancy.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested, with the writ issue in 10 days. I think that's it for you, counsel.
Yes, it is, Your Honor. I appreciate the court's time today. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. They have no counsel. Kevin Coy versus Greg Munzer. Come right up to the podium there, sir.
Salivary glands, so I.
Okay, that's fine. All right, what's your name?
Gregory Munzer.
All right. And is Kevin Coy here?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I need a camera.
I'm not sure why it's not populating right now.
What's your claim in this case while you work on that?
We filed a notice to quit. We are in code violations out at the 22 Medi Drive property. Mr. Munzer is living there. So the fire marshal with Scioto Township has notified us that he's living there and we need to have him removed along with others as well. Also, we are in code violation. Keith Deswan with Scioto Township is kind of walking us through this process. to have him removed. We have a blight and order blight out there as well.
Okay, well. Who's the owner of the property?
So my dad is the owner of the property. He is 83 years old and no longer able to do this. This is how it's kind of in terms of the blight has gotten out of hand out there. And so I'm taking that over to work with Keith Deswan, the code enforcement officer with Scioto Township, to get things cleaned up out there.
Okay, if you're not the owner of the premises, there has to be some legal authority for you to act. I mean, I get what you're telling me, but I've got to have some legal authority to act because you brought the case in your name, but you're not the owner of the premises.
I put the owner of the premises on the original paperwork.
Sir, I understand that. I'm looking right at it.
Okay.
But you're listed, because of the way that you did it, you're listed as the plaintiff in the case. On the summons, you're listed as the plaintiff. You put that Richard was the owner of the property. You did that on the complaint, but not in the caption on the complaint.
Yeah, okay.
And in any event, I'm not sure that you would be able to act on this. So here's what I'm going to suggest to you, sir. I get the circumstances that you're in and what you've explained. Rather than dismiss it because the party is improper, given the circumstances of what you explained, my suggestion to you is that you get an attorney just to represent your dad for this purpose. That's probably going to be your easiest way.
So are we going to have to do another 30-day wait?
What did I just say? I just said, if I dismissed it, you would have to.
Okay.
I said, rather than dismissing it, my suggestion to you is to get an attorney to represent your father, because you can't do it in this way.
Okay.
Okay. How long will that take you? I usually adjourn it out a week, but how long will that take you think, to get an attorney to step in?
I guess I don't know the process in terms of how long it takes to get an attorney to show up for this.
I can do the 23rd or the 30th, whichever is going to fit you better, sir.
I will do.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second, Mr. Coy. Sir, are you going to get an attorney to represent you?
Sir, I'm momentarily going to be out. These things that they've claimed, I'd like to respond to.
Well, I don't really need a response at this point because I've got to have the case in its proper fashion. So you said you're going to be out of the premises?
Yes, sir.
When are you planning on leaving?
Over the weekend, I'm going to be real close. Maybe I'm just sweeping up, but.
So hold on a second. If I put this over to next week, you're going to be out of the premises? You think?
I believe I can.
Okay, so Mr. Coy?
Yep.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to put it out 2 weeks. I'm just going to put it out a week. Okay? This may resolve itself because he might be out. But if he's not, what I'm going to suggest you do is contact, you can contact Washtenaw County lawyer referral, which was on the paperwork or something like that, to try to find an attorney. But usually, if you get right on it, an attorney can appear within the week. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So we'll do that, but what it sounds like is it might take care of itself. But we'll see. So May 23rd, 2025 at 12 noon. And that's an in-person proceeding. Okay?
Okay, so just our attorney has to be present, is that correct?
Pardon?
Just the attorney has to be present?
Yeah, if you get an attorney and they show, then you're good.
Okay, May 23rd at noon, correct?
Yes, sir, in person.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, guys, both of you. We'll see you then.
May I say something? For a record?
Well, what did you want to, hold on, Mr. Coy, before you sign off, what do you want to say, sir?
I am paid up on the rent up to the 1st, so I'll be taking care of the rest when I'm out. But this blight that they've talked about, the senior owners of the place, I had great communication with them. The younger sons have allowed this blight to occur. I have no blight. My single shop is totally safe, clean. I'm on the way out. Everything is picture perfect. I've always kept it.
Okay, sir, if you want to contest the eviction.
No,
Then-
I want to be out.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then,
But the reputation, that's all I'm.
no, I hear
Okay.
you, but it sounds to me like they've got issues with the township. They're trying to get you removed from the premises. On the other hand, it sounds like you want to leave. So it looks like it may resolve itself.
Yes, and I'm working around the clock to get out as fast as I can. I have valuables.
Okay, all right.
My
Yeah,
livelihood of
Mr. Munzer has
course.
been great. He's always paid. And really the blight is not his blight for the most part. You know, he has a great reputation with us. Unfortunately, the code enforcement officer is pushing people out. We would like to have the people removed. We have to follow what the Scioto Township is asking us to do.
Got it. I got you. Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you both.
Just one last thing, that township. Boy, I wish somebody would sit me down and investigate them because we've not been approached by general people at all, not with the least bit of respect. And there is no need for this in my life. I have served upside down and backwards. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank
I
you.
really appreciate you letting me come in and
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem, sir. Thank you for coming down.
I watched all the time.
All right.
I'm glad to have you. I said, oh man, I got a tear shake.
Okay.
Old school, you know?
Yep. Take care,
That's the
sir.
problem here is I'm not dealing with old school anymore.
Gotcha.
So that's the whole thing.
All right. You take care. Thank you, Mr. Coy.
Okay, there was also
Oh,
the
you did-
sec-
oh, you got another one.
yes.
Okay. All right. Kevin Goy versus Tori McLean. The
Correct.
tenant is not here.
And really, in terms of the blight, this is Tori's responsibility for the most part.
Got it. Okay. Tell you what. Are they still in the property? The McLeans?
I am going to assume when we've tried to remove both and all these individuals. This is why we're here today. They're not moving. The only time that Tori has been in contact with us is when he was served the papers for the court date. So yes, I'm going to assume everybody's still living there, whether they are or not. I don't know that for sure.
Okay, so, and again, I'm appreciating where you are and what you need to do on these. I'm going to adjourn this over to that same date and make the same suggestion that I made regarding the proper plaintiff on the case.
Okay.
Because what will happen, and I just so that you, because I'm not trying to cause any difficulty. If I gave you a judgment, which would be difficult to do today because I don't have a second mailing anyway, but if I gave you a judgment, they could come back in and set it aside, basically claiming you're not the owner. So I don't want you in that boat. So,
Okay. Trying to, is that the summons you're saying that I did not fill it out properly?
no, okay, so I'm not allowed to give legal advice. I'll just say this much, that you listed yourself as the plaintiff, but even if you had listed your father as the proper plaintiff, which would be the owner,
Yes.
you would not be able to come in and represent him unless you're an attorney.
Okay, so we did this actually in Chelsea court office maybe 10 years ago in this fashion, where I was the representative and I have no ownership over the property. I don't know. I guess that's why we were going this route again.
Yeah, no, people do this all the time. They just can't, it can't be done that way because you can't represent another individual. It's just the way that it is.
Okay.
So May 23rd,
I will reach out.
2025, 12 noon.
You said there's a website, Washtenaw County Lawyer Referral. Is that correct? If I do a Google?
Yes, you can call the Washtenaw County Bar Association and ask them for a lawyer referral number. I don't have, hang on, I don't think I have it in front of me. Pardon? I don't have it in front of me. The other thing, sir, is I know this afternoon, there are a series of lawyers on that represent landlords. And if you see them on the stream, certainly you can contact their office. I can't tell you to contact any particular one, but.
Could you tell me the last individual that went through a lot of them? His last name was Burns. You can't just say that. The last attorney that was on speaking, his last name was Burns. You're not able to give me that first name?
I can't give you, no, I can't do that way.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
you got.
The number for the referral service for Washtenaw County Bar in the chat.
We're gonna put the lawyer referral service number in the chat, so it at least get you that far.
Gotcha. Much appreciated.
All right, thank you. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
The last one, no one showed up for that case. I don't have an attorney.
All right, Ann Arbor Commercial Realty LLC versus Scott Sendesis. He's actually here.
Yes. Good morning,
got-
Your Honor. Nicholas Ryan Opaleski appearing on behalf of the plaintiff in this matter.
Right, and your name, sir?
Good morning. I'm Scott Sendes, Your Honor.
Sendis. All right. Okay, this is non-payment of rent case. Counsel, how much is owing?
So, Your Honor, at the time of filing, there was $24,750 due and owing. Another $1,650 has been added to that. So we're looking at a total dispute of, apologies, of $26,400.
That's not inclusive of any cost, correct?
That's not including any cost, no, Your Honor. This is just,
All right.
that's just the amount due and owing.
All right. And sir, how are you intending on getting that paid if you believe that it's owed?
Your Honor, I don't agree with those numbers. I actually had a verbal agreement with the plaintiff. I'm in the process of moving out. So I have asked him for more time to move out. This is a 10,000 square foot commercial building packed to the rafters. So it's not like a 1-bedroom apartment I can move out of, overnight. So I've just asked him for more time to move out. I thought we'd agreed on that. I told him I can't continue paying rent and move out at the same time. And we both agreed that it was best for both parties if I just got everything out and be done with the whole thing.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this over 1 week, the May 23rd, 2025 at 12 noon. What I'm gonna suggest that you do, sir, is maybe contact the attorney's office, see if you guys can work something out between now and then. Because they're requesting that you move out, but they're also requesting a money judgment. So something's gonna have to be worked out along those lines. All right?
Okay. I appreciate that.
Your Honor,
All
is
right,
that noon? Is that noon
Yes.
hearing? Is that in person or is
It
that?
is. It's an in-person hearing.
Wonderful.
Okay?
Thank you, Your
Noon for
Honor.
what-
You have a
what's the
great day.
I'm sorry.
All right, thank you, folks.
What was the day? I'm sorry.
It's the 23rd at 12 noon.
At noon, in person.
In person.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. That's it for that block? All right, court stands in recess until we reconvene at noon.
Good morning, ma'am. What is your name?
Jessica Ramirez.
Good morning, Ms. Ramirez. How are you today?
Fine.
All right, Ms. Ramirez is here on 2 cases, possessing drugs and possession with intent to distribute drugs, risk assessment level of a 2. Jessica Ramirez. Risk assessment level 4, she has a 2008 unauthorized use of a motor vehicle conviction, actually 2 of those. And it appears we haven't seen her since then. Ms. Zavala, what is the amount of the drugs?
Fentanyl, 2.7 grams. That's
Okay.
less than 4 grams. And the other one, less than 200 grams, is meth, 5.3 grams. Both accepted.
Okay. Are you opposed to releasing Ms. Ramirez on a PR bond?
Not opposed.
Okay. Ms. Ramirez, you're going to be released today on both cases under enhanced level supervision. Don't use drugs or alcohol, stay in contact with the PR bond office, and do not commit any further crimes. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Taylor?
Thank you, Judge. Ma'am, where will you be living once released?
4900 Titanic.
And what is the zip code?
79924.
Do you have a personal phone number?
Not at the time. I'll get one as soon as I get out.
Okay. Do you have a phone number of a friend or relative?
Yes,
What is it?
it's 266 4811.
4811?
Yes,
And who does this number belong to?
a friend, Joanna Garcia.
Is it Joanna with 2 N's?
Yes.
And do you have an email address?
Yes, it's Ramirez Jessica Ivonne. 01 gmail.com.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day. Who's next, officer?
Zamora, Judge?
Okay.
I didn't get the last name.
Zamora, Tania Zamora.
Okay.
Miss Quevedo, I show that Mr. Russell Aboud is on one case, but not the other.
Judge. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Miss Zamora. How are you today?
I'm not doing really good, honestly. I'm really upset with the justice system.
Okay.
Due to the fact of like saying that I didn't go to court when I did go to court. I
Okay.
went to court. I even took a picture of the courtroom door.
Okay.
The bailiff told me, he said, your lawyer was in here doing his magic and looks like he doesn't want you out here, Miss Zamora. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. Just so that way I don't have to
You may be
arrest you
seated.
right now because you have a warrant because he was up here doing his little magic. And I was like, what? I was like, but
Okay. Give me a second, Miss.
Court does call the case of Arbor Woods versus Sherry Taylor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Rachel Dornbush, Palace Law on behalf of the plaintiff.
Hello,
Hello,
what's your name?
Mashari Taylor.
All right. And where are we on this case?
Your Honor, this is plaintiff's motion to set aside a dismissal and to reinstate the case. Your Honor, my understanding is that the request to dismiss this case made in February was done in error by plaintiff. Your Honor, no payments have been made by Ms. Taylor on the ledger since October of last year. And the rental balance due and owing at present is $11,414.78. 11,414 and 78 cents.
78. I got it. Okay. Ma'am, this is plaintiff's motion to reinstate the case. Do you have a position on that?
At the time I was looking for a job and I was trying to get help from the state. I was also having trouble because I just buried my brother in February, and in that time frame I lost my job in May and my unemployment stopped and I didn't know it. And I have just recently got a job and I got about 2,000 and something, I forgot how much already, and I was gonna pay it, but they said they don't accept partial payment, and I was confused.
Okay. Well, right now I'm dealing with the plaintiff's motion to reinstate the case, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grant, this says to set aside, but that's not right.
It may be to set aside the dismissal, Your Honor.
Dismissal, got it, okay. It was cut off on one portion. All right. All right, so I'm going to grant their motion to set aside the dismissal, all right, and reinstate the case. So the motion to reinstate the case is granted. I don't see an appearance at the first hearing, so Ma'am, are you gonna seek other assistance or what?
Yes, we
what to
are,
do?
we are seeking assistance with DHS. I also have to call Hawk and stuff.
All right. So you said you have two, how much do you have?
Two.
Yeah, who are you?
That's my mom. She's on my lease too.
Okay, come on now. How much?
$2,053 right now, and we got help coming. We supposed to have some coming soon. We don't know exactly the date it's coming, so that's why we was trying to get a payment plan with the back rent. We could pay the main rent, we just can't pay the back rent right now. Oh,
Okay, what's your name, ma'am?
my name is Kimberly Hendricks.
Okay. All right. And so right now you have $2,053?
Yes, because only reason we didn't give nothing to them, because they keep telling us they don't take partial payments. We paid November rent, and we was doing that electronically over the system, and we got the receipt saying it was paid. They say we haven't paid it, but we thought it was paid because our receipts say paid.
Okay, but did the money come out?
I don't
know.
know. It was in your account.
I
Did it
don't
come-
know, because after we paid it, I stopped paying attention to my account and was looking for a job and stuff.
Okay. All right. So you have that 2,053, you have that in cash?
We have that in money orders right now.
Or you have it in money orders?
Yes.
Okay. All right, what I'm gonna do is, and I don't know how this is all gonna turn out. It doesn't mean that they're agreeing to do anything.
I understand.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order you to pay that $2,053
Okay.
to the plaintiff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'll order plaintiff to take it. I understand their policy, but they'll take that. That'll at least reduce some of the balance.
Yes, and if they do accept it, like on the first, when we get to pay the rent, I could pay the regular balance and add some extra to it until we get the money
Well, I don't know what they're gonna,
is it what they're gonna say?
yeah, I mean, they may say we're not gonna do that, so you
Right,
be
I understand.
prepared for that, but it's also a substantial amount that is owing. and
Correct.
It hasn't been paid. So my objective is, and again, I don't know what they're going to agree to, if they're going to agree to anything, but certainly they'd agree to, if you're paying something,
Yes.
you're more likely, but it may turn out that they take the money that's here and then say, well, we're not gonna do that because there's still 9,000 something owing.
Right.
How much is your monthly rent?
1511.
Okay, and see, so you pay this, and then really effectively, if this thing were to even click into the next month, and I don't know that it will, but if it clicks into the next month, you've only knocked 500 off.
I understand.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
but we
So,
have some money coming soon, so that's why we was trying to hope we can get on a payment plan or something.
well,
Maybe we could just talk to them.
here's what I'm gonna do, because I'll treat this in this way. This is, well, I won't say unusual, but it's not something that's normally done. I'm gonna adjourn it out 1 week. Okay?
Okay.
And to the 23rd at 1 PM. Again, that's an in-person hearing.
Okay.
Okay? That money needs to be paid to the landlord.
We just take it up to them?
I need it paid today.
Oh, we got it right now.
All right.
You just drop it off.
Yeah, drop it off there, pay that to them. That'll reduce some of this balance, but
Okay.
I'll just be honest with you, you guys would have to come up with a whole lot more than this.
We know, we got money coming. I just can't say directly when it's coming right now, because we working with this community agency. We help with my cousin, and we have a lump sum of money coming from that. Plus,
How much
she
do
just
you think
started
is
back.
coming from that?
It should be close to 6.
6,000?
Yes,
Okay, but you don't know when.
not exactly yet. We'll find out later on today or next week.
Okay, all right, so you might have 6,000 coming from an agency. of
Yes.
some type. All right, well, that might put you into a ballpark that something can be worked out, but it'd get to 2 over there, because that'd be 8. nearly 8 out of the 11, so
Okay.
that'd be substantial progress, but, okay?
Mhm.
So 1 o'clock next week. Let's see where you are when you get that information on the assistance. Make sure to get that and let the court know and let the plaintiff know.
Okay.
6,000, okay?
Okay. Sure.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Arbor Woods versus Angela Cater.
Well,
Hello, Ms. Cater.
hello.
All right, I set this for a hearing because it was coming close to the judgment. How much do you have owing on her account at this point?
Your Honor, the ledger reads $6,923.50. I know that there was some money in escrow that was released on or about April 25th when Ms. Cater filed her first motion. The court denied the motion but did release escrow. According to the motion, there was 1,600 released at that point. We don't have that money yet. And then
So
there
you don't have the 16
correct.
that was released.
Correct. And then the second motion indicated 1 month's rent was deposited, but I'm not entirely sure how much was, and I assume that's still in the court's escrow.
So I'm just trying to track this because did you receive 500 from us?
The ledger, Your Honor, shows a $1,500 payment on 4/10, a $2,100 payment on April 24.
Got it. Okay,
That left a balance of 52,1775, and then obviously the May rents come due.
gotcha. So, okay, so you got the 21 in that one. Okay. Cause that's, and then I have, well, that's that one. We're reading, that's 15, that's closed, that's closed, that's closed. There's 16 in the 18. Great. Okay. So what I have currently in escrow is 3463.
Okay, so 3463 plus.
Well, and I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. The 16 that I ordered released, they just haven't released it yet.
That's correct.
Okay, that's That's where I was getting confused.
Okay.
So that includes the 16 that I ordered released.
Gotcha. Okay, so there was another 18,
63.
putting the total at 3463. Okay, that makes sense.
3463. So if the balance you have now, if I don't have anybody to do my math here.
I'll do your math.
So the amount that's currently owing is how much?
$6,923.50. And what did I tell you we have?
We have 3463.
So I've got 3460 and 50 cents left over.
Oh, not, yeah.
Yeah, how much?
34.60 and 50 cents is the remaining balance.
34.60
and 50 cents.
Okay. And that's through May.
Correct.
All right, Ms. Cater.
All right, hello. So, the main thing right now is my air condition. My air condition isn't working because I don't have an air conditioning unit. So that's why the issue started from the beginning because of the repairs. And I understand the other repairs, I guess, aren't going to be done. I'm not sure because after they came over and took pictures in March and I haven't heard anything and they closed out my thing. So I just really need hot water and some AC because my AC is registering at 81 right now and I have a child with asthma. So I really need
Ms.
that.
Cater, Ms. Cater. Couple things so that we're clear. I am not, certainly those issues could be dealt with, maybe. But I issued a judgment on this back in March. I
Correct,
initially denied your motion to set it aside,
correct.
right? Because it wasn't, the judgment wasn't going to be paid and there had been additional rent accruing.
Okay,
The only reason that I even set a hearing on this was because when you came with the second motion, there was then a substantial additional amount paid
okay.
that was gonna get you close to getting yourself caught up.
Mm-hmm.
All right? My only question in whether I let this judgment continue or set it aside are no longer, from this court standpoint, the repair issues.
Okay,
It becomes an issue of getting this paid,
okay. So
okay?
it can be paid by the 30th.
That whole amount.
I can have 3,000 paid for sure by the 30th, and then the other.
Say what? Say
I'm
it
sorry,
again. Right.
I can have 3,000 paid by the 30th. And then I can have the remaining paid by the 6th of June.
What about the June
But
rent?
what about your June rent?
I can add that with the June. I was just gonna say I can add June's rent with that.
Ms. Cater, I'm gonna be honest with you. I really don't want to do that.
Okay.
I know in the past you always come up with it, and I get that. But at some point, there's got to be fairness to the landlord in this case.
Okay.
And they've got to reconcile everything, get everything paid. And here's what my problem is with what you're telling me. Is that on this, you're asking me to allow this case to move into June.
Okay, well.
And I'm not, I don't want to do that.
Okay, well,
So hang on,
Yes, sir.
this 34/60/50,
Yes, sir.
that needs, I gotta have that paid in May.
Okay, I can do that May 30th.
Because the only reason I set the hearing, so that the only reason I set the hearing is you had brought in a substantial amount. And quite frankly, I thought when we get here today, she's gonna have that additional amount. But you don't have it. But I'm not gonna keep extending this out. I issued this judgment back in March.
Okay. So I can have it
You hear
paid by
me?
May 30th.
Here's what I'm gonna do then. And this is also, I'm sure, gonna be over plaintiff's objection, but it's what I'm gonna do. What's the time on the 30th?
On the 30th, that's 2 weeks, it'd be 2 p.m.
I'm gonna adjourn this to May 30th, 2025 at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. I'm gonna release the 34/63 escrow to plaintiff today. So can we send a message down there, try to get that out to them? And then you're going to pay $3,460.50. I want that paid directly to the landlord. And Ms. Cater,
Yes.
are you going to be able to get that paid prior to 2 p.m.? I really need it paid prior to noon on that day.
It will be.
It will be?
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna put by noon. on the 30th. All right, now, just so that I'm also clear, Ms. Cater, and you know, I'll listen to you, I'll hear anything you gotta say, but if that's not paid, I'm not, I'm done. I can't do much else.
So I have a question. What am I supposed to do regarding my repairs? How am I gonna get
All
those?
right, submit the repairs
I've done
to
that.
them.
I've done that.
All right.
I've been doing that since
Here's
I
what-
moved in, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your
And you
Honor,
say it's
pass the
air
repairs along
conditioning?
to my client as well. I've noted that there's no AC unit. My understanding, this is a brand new home.
It
Your
is.
Honor. And so air conditioning units were put on order. My understanding is that there are many that are scheduled to be installed on the 22nd. I don't know if Ms. Caters is on that list. It's very possible hers is. I don't know for certain. I'd have to verify with my client. So I suspect the AC unit is coming up within the next week. As far as what was specifically on this work order, Ms. Cater says was closed out, I'll check with my client. Let them know that she's stating that those issues are still outstanding. One specific thing Ms. Cater referenced today was something about hot water. I'll make sure to address that with my client today.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right. So hopefully we can get those issues resolved as well as get the monetary issue and let you try to get a fresh start come June, Ms. Cater, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, okay, we'll see you on the 30th. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, just two. Or a small one sometime. Arbor Woods versus April Tubbs Streeter. April Tubbs Streeter. Not present. You've previously been sworn. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. And just to refresh the court's memory on this, my understanding, I wasn't the attorney here at the last court date, but I believe Your Honor had ordered Ms. Tubbs Streeter to have the remaining balance due through April paid by April 30th. This was at the hearing on April 28th. That balance at that time, I believe, was $510.40. Ms. Cater did pay $550, but not until May 6th. So in light of that, we are seeking entry of a default possession only judgment with writ to issue after 10 days. Rent to retain is $599.26. Court costs are $242 for a total due of $841.26.
Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested. Writ to issue in 10 days. Scio Farms versus Joseph Wallace. Joseph Wallace and Joy Stratton. Wallace or Stratton? No response. And this is the plaintiff's motion to demolish the mobile home on site.
That is correct, Your Honor. So I do want to let the court know, Ms. Joy Stratton did reach out to our office. She indicated that she no longer lives in the home. She apparently lives in Alabama. Yep, in Alabama since 2021. Her understanding was that Joseph Wallace had sold the home to his daughter, Alyssa Wallace, and her boyfriend. She was unaware that Alyssa had vacated the home. It was not in communication with the family. I believe they were divorced. Yes, in 2019. And so when we were made aware of this, Your Honor, we did do skip tracing with respect to Alyssa Wallace, served her with a copy of the motion that's before the court today. And I believe a copy of that proof of service, which would have gone out in early May, was filed with the court. In light of anybody's failure to appear here today to object to the motion, and in light of the rental balance that is due to Scio Farms, $13,880.44 at present, we would be requesting an order allowing Scio Farms to demolish the manufactured home on site.
Hearing no objection, the motion to demolish the home on site is granted, and I've signed the order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Scio Farms versus Melanie Clemens. She's in there. Ms. Clemens?
Hello?
Oh,
Can you hear me?
hello, there she is. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
And where are we on her case?
Total with costs, Your Honor, $1,816.78. Your Honor, Ms. Clemens did reach out to my office to propose a payment plan, which unfortunately my client was not in agreement with, as it pushed the case into June, pushed payment into June, but did not include a provision for June. Even if it had, I don't know that my client would have agreed to those terms, but unfortunately what was proposed at the time just unfortunately wasn't something my client could agree to.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but that was the wrong information. The person I talked to, they didn't have no information of my account. So she kept asking me questions. Could you do this? I kept telling her I can have it all paid by the 30th. Could you do this? And that is including June. And she just kept asking about June. So I just said, okay. But what I was trying to ask her is I could pay $1,300 on the 23rd and the remaining balance on the 30th. That's what I was trying to say to her. So I think we had some miscommunication.
So you can have, so right now, and you paid that 1,600 on the 5th or thereabouts that you said you were gonna pay because your balance went down.
Yes.
And so you can have this all paid by the 30th?
Yes.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do then. I'm gonna find no tribal issue after a hearing in this matter. I'm gonna grant a judgment for possession to the plaintiff in the amount, it was 1816.78?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. And normally, so that you understand what I'm going to do here, Ms. Clemens, normally you would have until the 27th to get it paid. I'm going to extend the writ date on this to May 30th.
Okay.
Let you get that paid. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So you'll get it paid and then you'll be all set.
All righty.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Clemens, you have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Court calls the case of Scio Farms versus Lawana Tut. Jesus, yep.
I'm here.
Okay. Something's wrong with their camera, but, oh, no, there she is. Okay. Hello, Miss Tut. Okay, where are we on this case?
With costs, Your Honor, $5,931.20.
Okay. So you were to pay, last time we were here was May 2nd, you were gonna pay $1,500 by the 9th. Did that get paid?
I had sent them, I was in the hospital and I had someone deliver a personal check. They wouldn't take that. So I did have someone drop off today a certified check for $2,000. And then the last time I had submitted a request to my employer for assistance with the remaining balance. That has been approved. I am just waiting to receive the funds, which I expect to have by next week.
Okay, so I think Scio Farms is here. There
Yes.
she is.
Patty, do you have that $2,000 payment? Yeah, okay. Looks like we've
Okay,
got
so
it.
we have the 2,000. And then you had mentioned before about your employee assistance program, and that's gonna pay the balance?
Yes.
Okay, so when are they expecting?
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
They didn't give me a date. They just told me that my request was approved. They would pay the remaining balance, and I'm just waiting to receive the check from them. And I believe that they have sent it. But I haven't received it yet. So I'm guessing it will come within the next few days.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do kind of the same thing I just did with Miss Clemens for you, okay? I'm going to find no tribal issue after after a hearing in this matter. I'm gonna grant a judgment for possession in
Your Honor,
the amount.
you
Yes,
have to grant a judgment, because I am going to be moving soon and I would, don't want a
I
judgment on my
see.
record that will, maybe prevent me
When
from
are you gonna be
getting
moving?
other housing. I have to relocate to North Carolina. I'm sorry, I'm not doing well health-wise.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. I'm not gonna. I won't grant the judgment. I'm gonna trust you. You paid the two. I know you've been in the hospital. You told us about your employee program. I'm gonna trust you. I'm just going to adjourn this case out to the 30th. Okay? And if your employer gets it paid, then it's likely this will be dismissed then. Okay, I'll do that for you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and I'm doing that over the objection of plaintiff, of course, but that's at 2 p.m. on the 30th. Okay, Ms. Todd?
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Court does call the case of Valley Ranch versus Markeisha Baines. She's in Zoom.
Hi.
Oh.
Can you see me?
Hello, Ms. Baines.
Yes, hello.
Okay, where are we? I'm going okay. You?
Say it again.
I said, are you doing okay?
Well, I guess. Well, you know what? I can't complain. It could be worse.
Okay.
But I am still in a conundrum still. I'm one student that usually comes here. So I have not received any updates on the actual date that my funding will be released for my last installment for my lease here before I am relocated somewhere else. The last installment is supposed to take care of, like I said before, April, May, June. And so I'm still waiting for that to come through. And all I've been told is it's in process. So I don't know what to say or what to do. My secondary plan was to wait for my income taxes. I'm still waiting on that to come in. So either way, one of those will get here for me to pay for this last 3 months that I'm here in this lease. And so that's my only two plans right now. I don't have any updates other than what has been told to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and Ms. Dornbush, how much is owing at this point? Is it 32?
$3,464.10.
Okay, so Spain's kind of run out of time here on this waiting, and I get it. A lot of this is out of everybody's control.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna grant a judgment for possession.
Okay.
And finding no tribal issue after hearing for that 346410. I will make the writ date. I'll extend it out to the end of the month to May 30th. So hopefully your taxes will get here or that check will get here before the end of the month.
Okay, you said 5:30. Just okay, 5:30.
Yes.
And okay.
All right.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Court calls the case of Whitaker Oaks versus Kathleen Short.
Hi,
And
I'm
also
here.
Brian Pollard. Okay. She's here. How much do we have owing?
Your Honor, excuse me, the ledger balance is $4,241.61. Your Honor, Ms. Short was ordered to pay $800 to Whitaker Oaks. She did do that, Your Honor. My client hasn't applied it yet because there is an ancillary issue I wanted to bring to the attention of the court. Your Honor, Ms. Pollard's lease agreement with the property has expired. A notice to quit actually was previously issued and did expire on May 10th. And so My client is intending to pursue termination of the tenancy to recover possession of the unit. I know that that issue obviously is not before the court today. This action is for non-payment of rent. My hope was, if it please the court, to speak with Ms. Short in a breakout room and to see if we can reach an agreement with respect to both actions in light of the situation.
All right. Ms. Short, do you want to do that? Did you understand what council was indicating?
I have no idea what that means, but I will do whatever.
Okay, here's the thing. You're here on a non-payment of rent case.
Yeah.
Your lease has expired. They're gonna seek to terminate your tenancy or to have you moved from the premises. Okay? That
Even if
case
I
has
can
not,
pay
hold
it
on,
forward.
hold on, hold on. All right. Ms. Short?
It's fine. I'm listening. Just keep going.
All right. That case is not before me today. But I don't know, has it been filed already, counsel, or no?
It probably is with our office to file. I don't know that anything has been submitted to the court yet. I would say, Your Honor, that to the extent a judgment entered today for non-payment, we would only be seeking a judgment through the April 30th charges because my client would intend to proceed with that filing and would not want to accept payment that would jeopardize that case. And so that's why I was proposing perhaps a conversation with Ms. Short to see if we couldn't reach an agreement that would negate the need to file the other case, as well as to potentially negotiate a move-out date.
All right. Ms. Short, let me just say this. You don't have to speak with the attorney if you don't want to regarding that case. It's not before me right now. Okay? I just wanted to make sure that you understood what she was indicating to the court.
I mean, I do
Okay.
understand, but I understand. Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Short, here's what I'm gonna do, okay? That case is likely gonna be filed. I'm gonna put this out a week, let you kind of wrap your head around all of that, okay? About what's been said today. And we'll come back, and then if you want to either get an attorney or somebody to help you out with this, or to then talk with Ms. Dornbush on that date next week, then we could make that happen, okay?
Okay.
Because I realize this was something new you just heard, and I don't want, right? So that's the way I'm gonna do it. I realize plaintiff may have an objection and wants their judgment, but I don't think plaintiff will be prejudiced if I just put it out a week for her to try to deal with it.
And Your Honor, just as the court has indicated, I do have to place my objection on the record, but I would also invite Ms. Short to give me a call once she's had to kind of process what's occurred here today. And we can potentially have a discussion, separately outside of court to see if an agreement can be reached. That's if, of course, Ms. Short does not choose to retain counsel. If she does decide to obtain an attorney, then her attorney can certainly reach out to me as well.
Okay, you hear that, Ms. Short? And I should have said that.
Yeah.
So you don't have.
Can I have her phone number to reach out? Like, do I have to? I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Do you
I
have,
don't.
hold on. Do you have the paperwork or no?
I have a ton of paperwork. I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Can we put Ms. Dornbush's phone? Okay. Ms. Short, can you see the chat on your phone there? We're gonna put Ms. Dornbush's phone number in there for you. Okay?
Okay, I do see a chat. It just doesn't say anything, but yeah.
Okay. You gotta do it. You said it? Okay. Oh, you have to look it up. You got it?
I got it, Judge.
Do you see it? Do you see it, Miss Short?
Yeah, I'm typing it. I got it.
Okay, all right. So you don't have to wait to come back next week to talk to Ms. Dornbush. If you want to at some point want to try to do something in the interim, that you're more than welcome to do that too, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, so that'd be the 23rd at 1 p.m.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. And Sile Farms versus Nicholas Lasowski. That case is dismissed on plaintiff's motion without prejudice. Right.
Your Honor, there was one other case,
Was there?
no, well, not, you probably don't have the file in front of you. And I did email Ms. Weidling, and I didn't know if there was anything that could be done on this, but there was a case, we submitted a dismissal on the 14th. And I know oftentimes, it depends on the time when it's submitted to the court, whether or not the court processes it or holds it over to go on the record with Your Honor. We did submit a dismissal on the 14th, and unfortunately, the payment that was made that brought tenants to a zero balance justifying that dismissal was returned today for insufficient funds.
Okay.
So if possible, my hope
So
was
if it
to,
had come in, so that if it had come into the court, I wouldn't have dismissed it because you would have been able to represent that to me. So
Correct.
what's that case number? You have it?
254C0489.
that's the one.
And that was, is it
The dismissal was.
Sile Farms?
Yes, it is Sile Farms, yeah, versus Steenberg. It was signed and processed by the clerk's office.
Okay, so let's get that back. What I'll do is I'll get that back. I'll administratively set aside the dismissal and I'll set it for the 23rd.
Very good, Your Honor. Much appreciated. Thank
Okay, at 1. I figured it had to be Sile Farms because she popped back on my screen. No, it's okay. All right, we'll take care of it here.
Thank you, Judge. Much appreciated. Have a great weekend.
All right, you both have a great weekend also. Thank you. And
infraction is in fact true, the state would have no objection to vacation or dismissal of that.
Understood. And is that? Excellent. All right, ma'am. You have the right of allocution, which is a fancy way of saying now that the attorneys have said their last words and the plea has been entered, you have the final say before I enter my final judgment. I'm not going to hold it against you if you don't want to make a statement. Not everyone is comfortable speaking in public. But is there anything you'd like me to consider before I enter my final ruling today?
No.
If that's the case, I am going to follow the recommendation. Counsel, I do want to double check. It appears that this was originally marked as a DUI. This is a plea down. But on the JNS, it's not marked as such. Oh, I was just going to ask if you had the RCW handy.
Yes. Thanks.
All All right, ma'am, you will I will impose the time period of council, I'm sorry, off the top of my head. Negligent driving one, is that misdemeanor or gross misdemeanor?
Your Honor, I believe that's simple misdemeanor with the 90 days.
Okay, excellent. Ma'am, I'm going to impose 90 days of jail and suspend all 90 days of jail, which is to say at this time, you will not have any jail that you need to attend. However, for the duration of that suspended period, that time will be hanging over you. If you are to violate the terms of this agreement, that jail time could come back to you. So be understand these requirements. The requirements will be that you have no new criminal law violations, that you consume no alcohol, marijuana, or non-prescribed substances, that you not attend any bars or taverns. Ma'am, do you work in a bar? Just making that you not drive without licensed insurance, that you not drive with a BAC of greater than 408, refuse a test requested by law enforcement, as well as a requirement that you attend a DUI victim impact panel and you obtain a drug and alcohol evaluation and follow through with any recommended treatment.